Hey everybody, this is MyCollectables coming back with another video, and I want to talk about the best comic book drops that we had on Veve in 2022. And I'm going to show you the ones that have performed the best, that have dropped this year. And there's going to be a big one at the top. I think we all know what it is. But there are a few surprising ones mixed in because we did get a lot of really nice comics on Veve through 2022. But the best comics we may have gotten, just one big one in August of this past year. I think you know what it is. So I'm going to go through it in just a second. Then I have a prediction at the end of the video for the next biggest comic I think that we are going to get in Veve, even by the end of this year. So we'll see what happens. So stick around for that. So make sure you comment down below and let me know what you think about these comics. Are you collecting them, or do you have other ones that you think are great as well? And you can also hit like if you do like the video, and make sure you're following me on Twitter, and I will follow you back and we can continue the conversation there for sure. So let's get into it, everybody. I want to talk about this. The biggest comic that came out, of course, has to be Amazing Fantasy in August. This is a crazy comic. I mean, look at that, 6,000 editions on the common. It's still up 15 times from the box price of 20. And that's just crazy, right? So you can see the secret rare there. I mean, it hovers around 10,000 to 8 to 9,000 gems at all times. And that's like a 500x or 4 or 500x on its original. So you can see that this is just a massive comic. The biggest one that Veve's ever put out, in my opinion, to date. And it's really, I don't know what's going to top this comic, but it is number one. And it was exciting. It was actually debuted and a launch right here on this channel. So make sure you're sticking around for other, hopefully, future drops as well and announcements here. But it was done right here. And, what a great day that was. So this is one of my biggest stacks for sure, this comic. And I will always continue to go after. Now, the next one I want to show you that came out actually a little bit later in October was Amazing Spider-Man 300. And this is another fantastic comic that has really done well across all of the varieties, the common, the uncommon, the rare, all that. I mean, they're really doing great. And it dropped right in a bear market. And, you can see that at $6.99 it was, and then the current price of it is 36.5 to 37 gems for the common. That is great. That's like a 6x. And of course, the secret rare is at about a 70x. So this is another fantastic comic, but it's actually quite interesting because in the real world, there are comics on Veve that are worth way more than this one, but that aren't worth as much in the app. It's really interesting what the community loves, and they love Spider-Man. We all do, and this is a classic cover. So this is one of the best ones that came out this year for sure. Next one, this came out in May. This is the Doctor Strange first appearance. And this is another great one that has done really well across the board. All varieties right now are over retail, including the common, which is around 11 or so gems. And then the secret rare, is at over 400 gems. And, this is interesting because I wanted to bring this up. Other comics that came out in May, like Avengers 4 and the Nick Fury first appearance comic, I mean, they're not doing as well on the common and the uncommon. People really like this book, and so it's really interesting. There's not many comics that came out in 2022 where all 5 of them are all over retail. That is very difficult to find, especially in the bear market right now. When we come out of this and go into future times, a lot of the comics that came in 2022, they will be above retail. There's a bunch there, but right now there's only a few, and this is one of them. And he is a key character moving forward in the MCU for sure. Now, the next one, and this one surprised me too, it's Star Wars #1. Now, this comic has really interesting edition sizes too, and it's still doing really well. There's only one version of it, the poster, the uncommon, that is actually under retail. And this one had a 15 gem retail, so it was a little bit higher. And you can see the common there is over retail and doing just fine right now, especially in these days. I mean, this comic used to be up around 30 to 40, and it will go back there again for sure. Look at the secret rare. It's doing really great too. I mean, there's 1,977 editions of it, and it's still sitting at about 230 to 240, which is about a 16x on the original price. So this comic is held up strong, and it's really interesting because other Star Wars stuff has not done well in Veve. So this is really quite a successful book, in my opinion, compared to other stuff, right? So anyway, Really fantastic right there. Now, the next one that surprised me again is the Werewolf by Night comic. Now, this is very interesting. All of these are above retail, and they're all doing okay, which is good. I mean, there's not a lot of comics that I said in 2022 that are all above retail. Like I said, Avengers 4, no. Nick Fury's first appearance, no. I mean, there's a few others that should be higher, but this one seems to be holding strong. And it's interesting too, because in the actual collectible side, nobody likes nobody's buying the Moon Knight collectible first appearance, which looks fantastic. That one is not doing well. So this is a really interesting case, and we'll see what happens moving forward. Now, the next one is Ghost Rider. This one came out in February, and this one also is doing fantastic still. All things considered, the comm is at like 11. They're all over retail as well. Or the uncommon is very close to retail, but they're all over retail for sure. And you can see the secret rare is at about a 40x. So it's doing really well, all things considered. And I think it's just because this is such a beautiful comic, and it is scarce in the real world. But there are other comics on the app that are worth more in the real world that aren't doing as well as this one in Veve, right? Because Veve is its own community, its own marketplace where weird things happen. But this definitely deserves to be high up there on the list because it is a fantastic comic that is held through all the way through almost a year now. And we'll see where it goes from here. Now, we do have a prediction. I have a prediction for the next big comic that I think is coming to Veve, and it might even come by the end of this year, 2022, and it would be on this list guaranteed. But I've been hearing things, and sometimes when I hear things, they come true. But anyway, this is a comic here, Journey into Mystery number 83 with Thor's first appearance. We've been anticipating this for a long time, all the way back to his movie release, that happened in the summer, but we never got it then. But I have a feeling this one's coming out by the end of the year to shock us all, or early 2023. We'll see what happens. I could be totally wrong. It's just a prediction. And I would love to hear your predictions about which comic you think could come to Veve as the next big one, because I think this one will be huge if it comes. Anyway, I hope you like the list. Let me know, what other comics that you think were fantastic drops this year. Remember, I'm just reporting the numbers here. These are not my opinions. These are just literally ones that are literally doing well in the marketplace compared to others. And I think there's a bunch of comics that should be on this list that aren't, because the people just aren't buying the commons and the uncommons. They're all under retail. It's really interesting, but that's just the way it is. The market is what it is in Veve, and we love it. Anyway, I'll see you in the next video. Happy collecting.